The lie you've been sold about success, why your soft girl era is the most strategic move you'll ever make. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by asking you something. How many of you have been taught, either directly or indirectly, that struggle is proof of your worthiness? That if you are not exhausted, you're not working hard enough? That rest is something you earn only after you have given everything you have and then some? If you are nodding right now, you are not alone. This belief runs deep, especially for Black professionals and entrepreneurs who have been told that they must work twice as hard to get half as far. But here's what I want to challenge today. What if everything you have been taught about success, about ambition, about what it takes to build a life worth living is a lie? I recently had the privilege of sitting down with Lois Williams, a visionary thinker, a compassionate leader, and someone who is making the world a better place by helping Black women professionals and entrepreneurs reclaim their energy, redefine success, and step boldly into what she calls their soft girl era. Lois is doing sacred work, work that challenges us to rethink everything we have been conditioned to believe about ambition, rest, and what it truly means to build a legacy that does not cost you your life. And what she shared with me stopped me in my tracks. She said that your soft girl era is not the opposite of hustle, it is a more strategic form of hustle. Let that sit with you for a moment. What if softness, rest, emotional safety, and boundaries are not obstacles to your success, but the very foundation of it? What if reclaiming your energy is not a luxury, but a business asset? What if the way you protect your peace directly increases your creativity, your decision making power, and your ability to build generational wealth? This is the counterintuitive truth that Lois Williams is bringing to the world. And it is a truth that challenges everything we have been conditioned to believe. For so long, many of us have been running on fumes. We have been the ones holding down households, leading teams, raising children, carrying communities. We have been the strong ones, the reliable ones, the ones who never say no. And somewhere along the way, we started to believe that our value was tied to how much we could endure. We started to believe that if we were not struggling, we were not worthy. But here's what I want you to hear today. Choosing softness is not laziness, it is leadership. It is saying, I refuse to pass down trauma as the price my children have to pay for my success. I will pass down healthier models of ambition instead. That reframe, my friends, is deeply uncomfortable, but it is also deeply liberating. Let me share with you three insights that I believe can change the way you think about your work, your life, and your legacy. The first insight is this: softness is a strategy, not a personality type. Your soft girl era is not about becoming someone you're not. It is not about dimming your ambition or lowering your standards. It is a conscious strategy for how you manage your energy, your schedule, and your relationships so that you can lead, build, and create at a higher level. It looks like systems, boundaries, and support, not just candles and bubble baths. Let me tell you about Myleik Teal. Myleik is a Black woman entrepreneur who founded Curlbox, a subscription service for natural hair products that became a seven-figure business by centering the needs and experiences of Black women. But what made her business sustainable was not just her vision, it was her boundaries. Before Curlbox, Myleik worked in public relations and learned the cost of being on all the time. She saw what happened when you gave everything to everyone else and had nothing left for yourself. So when she built her company, she did something radical. She created a rigid, intentional structure around her time. She had a clear morning routine. She had protected no meetings blocks. She said no to opportunities that did not align with her values. She publicly modeled boundaries. And instead of losing respect, she gained it. Her audience did not exploit her availability. They respected her leadership. Curlbox grew into a highly profitable, widely recognized brand in the natural hair space, partnering with major companies like Procter and Gamble. And Miley became a sought-after voice for Black women entrepreneurs, demonstrating that you can be direct, boundaried, and soft in your personal life and still build a powerful business. She showed us that emotional and energetic protection is not an obstacle to success. It is a key to sustainable success. For entrepreneurs, this might mean delegating earlier, setting clear working hours, or only saying yes to clients who are aligned with your values. For professionals, it might mean negotiating your salary with confidence, refusing to overdeliver to prove your worth, or setting boundaries around after hours communication. Softness in this context is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the recognition that your energy is finite and how you spend it determines not just what you accomplish, but who you become in the process. The second insight is this: healing your relationship with struggle changes how you build your career and your business. When you stop equating stress with success, you make different decisions. You price your services fairly. You negotiate salaries with confidence. You stop over delivering to prove your worth. You give yourself permission to rest without guilt. And that shift does not just help you feel better, it changes your revenue, your leadership style, and what your children see as normal in adulthood. Let me tell you about Bazoma St. John. Bazoma is a Black woman executive who has held top roles at Uber, Apple Music, PepsiCo, and Netflix. She has operated at the highest levels of predominantly white, male led global corporations, and she has done it while leading with authenticity, emotion, and joy. Bozoma has spoken publicly about deeply personal losses, including the death of her husband, and how those experiences shifted her perspective on urgency, joy, and what truly matters. Instead of hardening, she leaned further into living fully and leading from the heart. She deliberately chose to lead with emotional honesty, bringing her whole self, including her joy, grief, and humanity, into her leadership instead of hiding behind a mask. And what happened? She became one of the most visible and influential Black women executives in the world. She showed that maintaining emotional softness, access to joy, empathy, and grief can coexist with making high stakes decisions and driving billion-dollar brands. Bazoma redefined what powerful leadership can look like for Black women in corporate spaces. She showed us that you do not have to choose between excellence and emotional well being. You do not have to sacrifice your softness, your culture, or your emotional truth to rise. When you heal your relationship with struggle, you stop believing that pain is the price of progress. You start building in ways that honor your nervous system, your long term health, and your humanity. And that changes everything. The third insight is this: your soft era is also for the people coming after you. The way you choose to work, lead, and love becomes the blueprint your children and younger professionals copy. When they see you protect your peace and still build, they learn that success does not have to cost them their health, sanity, or self respect. They inherit not just your achievements, but your standards for how they deserve to be treated in the workplace, in business, and in relationships. Let me share with you the story of Trisha Hersey. Trisha is a Black woman artist, theologian, and activist who founded the NAP Ministry, an organization that centers rest as a form of resistance and a necessary tool for healing and liberation, particularly for Black people. Her work has influenced how many Black professionals and entrepreneurs think about rest, productivity, and worth. Trisha confronted centuries of cultural conditioning that equate Black worth with productivity and constant labor. She addressed the internal and external shame around rest in communities that feel they must outwork racism to survive. And she did it by creating public collective napping experiences, workshops, and teachings that reframe rest as a spiritual and political practice. Trisha offered language and frameworks to understand how grind culture is rooted in white supremacy and exploitation, and how choosing rest is a form of reclaiming humanity. She encouraged small, practical rest practices, naps, pauses, refusing overwork as accessible entry points for people in demanding professional and entrepreneurial roles. And what happened? The NAP ministry gained national and international attention. Trisha's work inspired many Black professionals and entrepreneurs to reconsider how they schedule their time, set boundaries, and view burnout. Rest is now being discussed not just as self care, but as a strategic, necessary component of sustainable leadership and business building. Trisha helped shift how Black people, especially Black women, view rest, not as a reward after extreme labor, but as a right and a tool for clarity and creativity. She influenced entrepreneurs and professionals to design work in ways that honor their nervous systems and long term health. She showed us that a soft girl era is not about passivity, it is about reclaiming rest and softness as powerful, productive choices. Your soft era is not just about you, it is about the next generation watching you. It is about what they learn is possible. It is about what they believe they deserve. So let me ask you this: if your children or the next generation watching you copied your current relationship with work, rest, and boundaries exactly as it is today, would you be proud of what they inherited? If not, what is one concrete change you can make this week to step into a softer, more sustainable version of success? Because here is the truth: the way you are working right now, the way you are hustling right now, the way you are sacrificing right now is teaching someone something. Your children are watching, your team is watching, the younger professionals coming up behind you are watching, and they are learning that this is what success looks like. They are learning that this is the price you have to pay. But what if you showed them something different? What if you showed them that you can be ambitious and rested, that you can be successful and boundary, that you can lead powerfully and still protect your peace? What if you became the living proof that softness is not the opposite of strength, but the foundation of it? I am not asking you to abandon your goals. I am not asking you to lower your standards. I am asking you to reconsider the cost you are willing to pay. I am asking you to question whether the struggle you have normalized is actually necessary, or if it is just a story you have been told so many times that you started to believe it. Your soft girl era is not a trend. It is a lifestyle rebellion. It is a deep exhale from the Superwoman script. It is a quiet but powerful return to softness, rest, self trust, and radical joy. And it starts with one decision, one boundary, one moment where you choose yourself without apology. So here's my challenge to you: choose one small, specific action this week. Maybe it is ending work at a certain time. Maybe it is saying no to one non essential request. Maybe it is scheduling intentional rest. Whatever it is, commit to it for the next 7 days. Not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Because the world does not need more burnout leaders, it needs more whole ones. It needs more people who have done the work to heal their relationship with struggle. It needs more people who understand that rest is not a reward, it is a requirement. And it needs you, whole, rested, soft, and powerful, leading the way. Thank you.